Dr. Hilary Cass, who's the author of the recent eponymous report on the Tavistock and Portman clinic that was meant to be servicing gender-confused kids, has been advised to not take public transport for fear of violent reprisal from trans activists who can't seem to accept the truth. Now, you would think that people would be really concerned about her safety because all she's done is upgrade safeguarding towards confused and abused young children. Unfortunately, the Labour Party don't quite seem to agree because Dawn Butler MP, rattling off some lies she found on social media, decided to tell the Commons that Hilary Cass omitted over 100 studies from her report. Turns out that wasn't the case, and we haven't had a retraction yet. So I think Labour should probably get their trans activists in order rather than just continually backpedalling on their record on puberty blockers.
I just feel that the whole world's gone a bit mad, Colin, because ultimately this is a factual report which is evidence-led with scientists, I believe. Balanced. Took all the measures to try and create a report which is ultimately going to help children who are both not trans and people who may go on to transition later in life. I mean, I was watching some television the other day, Joe Lycett on his show.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I hope you weren't. That's on Channel 4.
It is on Channel 4.
Tough.
It's a sin. Anyway, we're going to quickly get... I think we can get a clip from that very show where apparently Hilary Cass is far right.
Well, this week there's been a lot of hot air rising from the far right, otherwise known as the Cass Report. Dark clouds coming in this evening, but no darker than the depths of your soul, Richard, as you wander alone, knowing that the last face you see before you die will be the Babe Station model on your premiere in TV, as you auto-asphyxiate in the early hours of Christmas morning. Wonderful! Jordan Gray, everyone!
From the far right, Connor, are they talking about you?
Well, I should hope so, because I take it as a badge of endorsement. I mean, far right clearly just means anything I don't like. And this person, if I remember correctly, wasn't this person the one that stripped off and used their appendage to play the keyboard? I don't think they're a particularly credible medical expert.
Well,
no,
was it funny, Diane?
What?
That segment.
That segment.
Not for me. No, I mean, but, you know, that's
Even
the joy
Benjamin didn't laugh.
That's the joy of comedy. We all like different things. I'm sure somebody loved it. But I think it's a real shame, because I read that report about Dr. Cass, and she said the thing that is really annoying her is the misinformation. And the people who refuse to be open to the science, refuse to say, oh, wow, so we're not medically treating these children in the way that we would medically treat them for other ailments, and instead they're sort of just labelling her transphobic or a TERF, or then they're putting out misinformation.
What does it say about where we're at when a woman, a very esteemed woman, feels that she can't use public transport? That's
absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
And it's really, it is quite scary. Like,
yes,
it's not like Dr. Hilary Cass is one of the people who can bench press 96 kilograms. I mean, intellectually, I think she could knock somebody out in one punch, but physically, she must be quite intimidated.
Well, I mean, Benjamin, do you like the show Have I Got News for You on something called the BBC? It's an inferior broadcaster. Have you heard of it?
I do. I watch it every week, although I didn't this Friday.
Oh, right. Well, let's have a watch of a clip that they had on this very issue.
Staying with health, what did staff at the Royal Stoke Hospital do this week?
The answer is we don't know.
Yes, they made a banner declaring that the hospital welcomes 21 different genders and sexualities.
21?
There they are.
Wow. I don't know some of those countries.
That's Zimbabwe at the end.
Yeah.
Each of these 21 genders has its own flag, and why not? You know, now cancer's been cured and everything.
Now, there they are. They mock, you know, Ian Hislop of Private Eye is supposed to bash the establishment class. And it's taken a report by Dr. Hilary Cass outlining just how much kids have been impacted. Vulnerable children, autism, kids who can't accept being lesbian, gay or bisexual. And it's taken this report for them to feel comfortable making a joke about this issue. Now, as someone, Benjamin, who believes strongly that there are 100 genders, do you accept that actually people like you have made such an atmosphere of fear around this issue that people like Dr. Hilary Cass don't feel safe? And Have I Got News for You only now feel comfortable about standing up to bullies like you?
No, I mean, it's just farcical nonsense. Look, first of all, it's not acceptable for anybody to feel unable to get on public transport because of safety. I suspect very few people would would recognise this doctor, to be honest, but I imagine the fear when you see all the comments online can be very real, and I can understand how someone would end up feeling like that way. I would just also point out that the number of hate crimes, sometimes violent hate crimes, that happen against transgender people that don't pass, that don't look like the gender they're trying to identify as, people might question them, is a very real thing as well. You know, you hear so many stories about incidents on buses and public transport where they get beaten up just trying to go about their lives. So I think a bit of self-awareness, you know, from different sides would not go amiss.
Do you need to be more self-aware, Connor?
Who's committing those hate crimes, Ben? Because I would esteem that it's not the tolerant and liberal English people, it's usually people from
English?
a less... Yes,
What's
it's usually...
got to do with it?
Because it's usually people from a far less tolerant background and faith who don't
we're
share
back to
our
race,
sensibilities.
are we?
I didn't say race, did I?
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying nationality and culture, Ben. Funnily enough...
You're saying Muslims, aren't you?
Yes.
Right,
Usually,
there we go.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're over
You keep doing this dog whistle, and you're not very good at it, because it's pretty obvious what you're saying. You could literally do any debate on this show and you'd go back to Muslims.
Muslim is not a race.
Right.